All right, now what? Let's switch this up here. Hey everyone, and welcome to a little surprise stream, so to say. Welcome. Yeah, so today I have released the first version for Cubase. So just to be clear, Studio One and Logic are soon following after. But for now, the Cubase 1.2 update for Nucleus is released. So in case you are not aware, Audio Imperia have recently released their 1.2 update for their Nucleus library, adding a bunch of new content and functionality, with the little bit of a downside that Philippe, well, I don't know when, but possibly 2022 could be that I'm going to visit Lisbon. So there might be a good chance. Hey, Prosper, do you have a CSS template? Not yet. But that doesn't mean that it's... there's a good chance that something like that is happening. Sorry. Anyway. So, yeah, there was a little bit of a hassle with the 1.2 update because the content was bigger than 2 gigabytes, and that required all users to kind of delete the 1.1 version or whichever version they had installed and to re-download the 1.2 version. And the biggest bummer about it was that the old template versions, or whenever you used Nucleus 1.1, after the 1.2 update, there was an error message that the patches wouldn't load. So it was not backwards compatible, which is kind of a big bummer, but and also a big bummer for the template because I had to redo it from scratch, so to say, or at least change all the patches. So I took that as an opportunity to update a bunch of stuff in the 1.2 version of the template that I quickly want to show around. And let's turn off the music here for a moment. Quiet. Thank you. So, and yeah, now it's fully compatible with 1.2. When you download the update, it's a little bigger. It's close to 1.5 gigabytes now because of all the different file formats. And the main change that I did compared to prior versions is that I have changed the multi-timbral option of contact. So it's not like you have all the violin instruments, for example, in one contact instance on channels 1 to 12 or something, but every single instrument is now its own individual contact instance. Reason being that it just makes it so much easier in navigating around, disabling tracks, enabling tracks, and also in terms of mixing. So you can now easily have a different effect on the violin tremolos than on the violin sustains. Beforehand, that was not possible because the sustains and the tremolos ran through the same channel, which kind of makes sense because, I mean, it's just an articulation switch, but it just gives you so much more opportunity to do other stuff than with a multi-timbral approach. So now it's every single instrument is an individual instance of contact. So when you open up the contact, it's just one instrument in here. And that makes it very, like I said, very much easier to navigate the template, to enable and disable tracks. In the demo track that I did for the template, there's a lot of more tracks in here, but these are disabled. And I've included the empty versions without the MIDI data for the classic and the modern mix. And I've also added the template with Slate VMR enabled on every channel in case you have that and want to use that. So I personally really like working with that, but the initial template used, for the most part, Cubase stock plugins to make sure it's compatible with pretty much anyone out there that has Cubase, but no other third-party plugins. And without further ado, let's just jump straight in, give the demo track a listen, and then I will actually load one of the other template versions, I guess the Slate one, and maybe we'll just write a little bit with it, see what it's like to work with it. So here's the demo track that you get with the template, fully mixed and with all the settings available. One thing to note, the recommendation for the template is a system that has at least 16 gigabytes of RAM. But when you have a project loaded and activate all the instances of the Nucleus instruments, you need approximately 50 gigabytes of RAM to run it on one system with everything enabled. But usually you don't need all the close to 300 tracks enabled. Usually you just, I mean, it depends on what you do, but so keep that in mind. Let's go. Here's the demo track. I also added a little bit of a new, I just fine-tuned the mix for the track. So again, this is fully mixed on Cubase stock plugins besides the reverb. I am using, I can show you that here as well. I am using Valhalla Vintage Verb, which is kind of my favorite reverb for the most part. And if you don't have this one, so for example, you can see here, if you don't have the Valhalla Vintage Verb that I'm using here, I included the Steinberg Revelation, which with kind of a similar setting. It just does not really sound the same, but it's fine. So if you really don't have anything else or don't have the Valhalla, you can use the Cubase stock reverb. And so that was the demo track. Let me quickly close that and open. I want to work with a classic mix. So Nucleus has two mix positions, modern and classic, and I included templates for both. And again, with the Cubase stock plugins and as well with a Slate VMR in an empty state so that you can pretty much tweak and mix to your own liking. So I want to open up let me close that here, and want to open up the template that is empty with a classic mix loaded with Slate VMR. And it will load pretty fast. It takes a little moment to close the project here because I've been running my system all day and I'm streaming at the same time. So apologies for a little delay there. And the template comes fully disabled. So that's why it's pretty fast to load. There we go. Now this is closed and let's open. Come on, open. There we go. So in terms of folder structure, when you download the new update, you will see the old files in the project 1.1 folder, and there's a project 1.2 folder. If you have updated Nucleus to the 1.2 version, that's the one you need to use. So you see template classic disabled, template classic slate disabled, modern, that's the modern mix disabled, and also with slate disabled, and then the full mix of the trailer that we just heard, or demo track. And I also included a version in case your RAM is not sufficient enough to run this full project. that you have the possibility to load it and enable one track after the other. So the disabled version. So for now, let's open the classic with the Slate VMR enabled. And this one should not take too long to load because all the channels are disabled. There we go. Upcoming. So that's what the template looks now. I also, till now, the template did not contain the performance patches that Audio Imperia provided with 1.1 update. So I included these now as well. So we will take a look at that. And I also included at the top here, this is the only patch that is enabled. This is like a little sketching pad if you want to start writing and want to get going quick. This is just the brass, strings, and woodwinds full ensemble performance patches loaded straight up, so you can just sketch out some ideas before actually activating any other patches. Pretty cool. It's a little bit the Symphonia approach to ensemble patches, so just one patch to get you going quickly. And since you have it's the performance patch, you have a mixture of shorts and longs, so when you play rather soft, you get these pretty cool as a sketching tool to just get going quickly. I like that a lot. Hey Shifu, Hexima, hey Maximilian. What headphones I'm using? Slate VSX. So, and then when you actually decided how you want to get going, if you open up the folders, we have the individual string sections. Everything is disabled. So you can click on the track, either right click and say enable. That's one way to do it. Or I have put this command on a shortcut on my keyboard. So it's that little wave key below the escape. That's my enable and disable key. So I just hit that key and then it enables right away. So, and everything should be set up, ready to go. The patches load with a setting of -250 milliseconds. That is, meanwhile, standard for Audio Imperia libraries. So you can see that here in the sample start. So it's set to -250, which gives you the best playback. But for live playing, obviously, it's not ideal. So if you want to play something live, I have that control. It's CC17 with Audio Imperia library. I have that on a little controller here. So on that third button that lights up here is CC17. When it's off, it's at 0, and when it's on, it's 127. So gives you that immediate immediate snappy attack instead of when I turn it off. But the minus 250 obviously gives you a better legato. So for live playing, I would recommend to bring that to 0, record it, and then so you can really grab a coffee meanwhile when you have the 250 milliseconds enabled. Like you hit a key and then the sound comes obviously 250 milliseconds later. Versus when you turn it off. And like I said, these Slate versions come preloaded with the Slate VMR rack empty on the, well, not fully empty, there is the console emulation, empty on the track. I prefer to work with these. And later down the line, I could also think of providing some presets for the Nucleus libraries, depending if you use the modern or the classic mix. But let's check out some of the new instruments from the update. So the first thing that springs to mind is that the solo woodwinds have gotten some updates. Let's just activate these for a moment. You can also activate all 4 at the same time. It's also possible. So if you say I need all the woodwinds, you can just select all of them and activate them. Again, keep in mind the full loaded template. You can, if your RAM is sufficient enough, you can also activate everything and save it as an activated version. So that way you have not the loading time, but you can open the project and get going right away. So we have, that was in before, the solo flute. Does it have a similar approach to group stems and routing? Yes, absolutely. It has very much the same setup. There's just some stems missing that are not available in Nucleus. But if we look at the group tracks, we have the same tier system. So we have the summing tiers where the strings high, short and long, low, short and long get summed up. This then we have the effects channels. They're a little bit less than in the quick load template, and that finally gets summed up in the stems: strings, brass, woodwinds, synth vocals, percussion, and tonal percussion, and drums, because we have these extra. So yeah, it's pretty much the similar approach. So in the end, when you're done and want to export your track, you can, for example, select with an underscore just the stems and select I want to export strings, brass, woodwinds, synth, vocals, percussion, tonal percussion, drums. Well, obviously you need to select multiple. Sorry for that. So again, so now. And then you can export all these stems in one go. You could even export the stereo master as well. So you have stems and your mastered track in one go. Pretty cool. I like that concept. So same as the quick load template, just a little bit reduced based on the available instrument groups in this template. Taki, quick question. Which is the best library now between Arc1 and Nucleus? These two are not mutually exclusive. So it's not like one is better than the other. It's like apples or oranges. Nucleus is more of an all-rounder. Arc1 is the in-your-face trailer tool per definition. Two different sound aesthetics. So you can't really put these together. I imagine it would make sense to activate the ones for what one use for specific genres and then save a bunch of different genre-ready setups. Yeah, for example, that's one approach to do it. So yeah, solo flute. Sorry for that. Do you ever happen to have to export stems from the summing tier? So just as another explanation, yes, this happens. It depends on what your usage of the end product is. So usually when you deliver for a publisher, for example, and they ask for stems, what you do is you export your master, either pre-mastered or unmastered, depending on the necessities of your publisher or whoever you send the files to. And then you have the stems. These include strings, for example, have all the strings with reverb and everything. If you were to send your files off to a mixer, for example, to mix that track for you, you usually don't want to include reverb or have a broader diversification in the stems. So you like we have in the summing tier here, like strings high short, strings high long. And when you export these summing tiers, they are dry. They don't contain the reverb. And the reason being is usually when you export this type of tracks, you want your mixer to take care of that. And that way, I have oftentimes used the summing tier to export. And even further down the line, even separating the individual instruments and exporting these. So when I export the instruments or the summing tier, there is no reverb, and the reverb comes only in after the summing tier going to the stems. That's the principle behind it. Otherwise, if you want to export the summing tier including reverb, then you would have to solo that and run it through the stem, like just exporting the short strings and then exporting the string stem and naming it accordingly. That's the only thing that's not possible to automate. But that's a rare occasion that you need it like that, at least in my experience. Have you heard of Infinite Brass? If so, what do you think of it? I have heard of it, but I have never really looked deep into it, so I cannot say much about it. But I have heard some examples that sounded pretty cool. And keep in mind, this sound right now is without any processing, kind of. So there is the virtual mix rack with a bus compressor, with a virtual channel on it, which doesn't do so much on an individual channel. It's more what it does in the sum of it. But this is also the classic mix now, so you can also open up the same template but with a modern mix enabled for everything, which has a lot more bite. And for now, for today, I just want to work a little bit with the classic mix. Okay, so let's, I mean, for the strings, we can say, let's enable all of these. Just to make it a little shorter and not enable everything in between. I mean, I'm lucky enough that my system probably can handle the load. This system here has 64 gigs of RAM, so when I don't activate everything, I should be able to run it rather properly, even with a stream running on the side. And this obviously takes a little longer to enable all the instruments at once. I shouldn't have done that. I should have taken like 5 or 6 at the same time. That might have been faster. Right now we're stuck in the waiting loop there we go. Okay, thank you. And as you may be able to hear, the violins 2, for example, I flipped the stereo field on these. I wanted to have that like modern film score seating with the violins 1 on the left side and the violins 2 on the right side. So violins 1 sound like this. Violins 2 sound like this. That gives a really nice stereo spread if you play these two at the same time. Very cool sound. And I forgot that we wanted to check out the solo instruments. So the new instruments that are included in Nucleus 1.2. So that was in there already. Then we have the oboe solo, oboe. And this is with a minus 250. So whenever I feel like it's not ideal to play it live, then I just flip my key here and put the attack immediate, which cuts into the legato, obviously, and doesn't sound as good. But you can use that to record it live and then switch it back to full minus 250. You actually need to pull it back to full minus 250 because the track is delayed by minus 250. So when you don't put it back, it will sound off in the mix. This is one of the new instruments in 1.2. We have now a clarinet solo legato as well. And we have a new bassoon solo legato. Then we also have a new arrival in the tuned percussion. We have a harp now. So a new harp has been added. Let me quickly activate that. This, by the way, the harp and the timpani are the only ones that are kind of multi-timbral instruments because I put them all in the same contact. So 3 harp patches here, and with the timpani, the same thing. Let me quickly activate that. We have the rolls, the different on the same instrument as well. So, come on. Can't be that long to load a timpani. These are faster because these are MIDI tracks. So now we have... So they come through the same channel as. The sounds are all from Nucleus, yes, because this template is fully utilizing Nucleus alone. So there's a harp now. Then we have normal slid. And we have harmonics as well, or flageolet. Are you putting everything to 2 reverbs? No. So the onboard reverb is turned off for all the instruments. So there's no reverb, and I do put this, so when I turn off the reverb, it sounds like this. And I'm sending it, so I think what makes it so spacious, and this is, I did this on some of the flutes and also on some of the percussion, is to use the reverb pre-fader. So initially it would sound like this. So when you have the send effect, in this case the reverb, as a normal send, and have the fader at 0, let's use the normal patch here. That sounds like this. And what I do is I put the reverb pre-fader, means before the fader, and turn the fader down by -4. This pushes the instrument back into the room. Could put that to further extremes. So the lesser of the original dry signal you keep in the signal path, the further away it sounds. So it's like pushing the instrument into the back of the room. And that -4 roundabout was a nice sweet spot for me for the... And like I said, the reverb is the vintage verb from Valhalla DSP, my favorite reverb kind of for most of that stuff. Let me just quickly activate the rest of the strings here and maybe some brass. Technically, I might also just enable everything, so writing gets a little faster. But I don't know how well my system handles the whole thing with I read your comment and lost my red line, what I wanted to say. So I usually only activate everything or have everything loaded when I don't stream at the same time, because the stream utilizes some of my RAM and I only have 64. So when the templates loads with 55, it can get tricky. I'm guessing you only do that for instruments that need more space. Yeah, kind of, pretty much exactly. Instruments that need to be a little further back in the room. Sometimes I do that with choir as well. Let's check out what we have here. Let's just activate the regular brass patches. So hello, Canon in D minor. Thanks for the kind words. All right, so some percussion to go, and then we can see if we can write a little something with it, right? Have you heard Thomas Berger's New Humanity Chapter 4? Yes, I did. And he's a genius, you know? So, nothing to add there. I envy Thomas for his sense of melodies. He's just the best at that. But back to Nucleus. Listen to this trumpet. To these trumpets. B skills, that is a good question. ETA on the Studio One. I wanted to finish the Cubase version first. Studio One should be faster now that everything running. And I know a trick how to get the 1.2 running without reloading all the patches. So, no, don't have an ETA. But I promise that I try to get it out ASAP. So Cubase is done. The download mail has been sent already to all of you guys who already got the Nucleus Cubase version. And so you should be able to play around with it yourself. I didn't say you should be able to play around with yourself. You play around with it yourself, right? Big difference. By the way, I think I forgot to do that. On the sustain and the staccato patch, I extended the range downwards, but I think I forgot to do that on the performance patch. So just quickly let me show that in case you want to do that with other instruments as well. If you think the flute doesn't go high enough, or if you want to change anything about the instruments here. Go to the Advanced tab, click on the little arrow here and go to Transpose Range. And then you see the range here. And right now the performance patch goes down to F0. And when you activate that and put that down, you can extend the range down to C. That's what I usually do on the low brass. Nice. Music scale, by the way, hi. I didn't say hi. Here's 1 a.m. and very sad. I'm sorry to hear that you're sad. Have listening to your album Elements on repeat. Well, thanks for that. I'm working on Elements 2 right now. Coming out in a little more than 2 months. Well, technically, it's the 20th today, so in 2 months and 2 days. No pressure. So, back to topic. Let's start. And by the way, one more thing about the single instrument approach. So, for example, you are now able, which wasn't possible before, and like, for example, you could leave the spiccato in the same room. And if you want to have the pizzicato way more dry, you can do that now. So you can tweak all the instruments differently, which makes more sense working with a library like that. Do you have plans to do a last 3 review walkthrough? I checked on YouTube, but no one has done it yet. I haven't done either, and I possibly will get it because I have the full last 2. It's not that expensive to update. And then we can possibly take a look at it. But, I mean, last few weeks have been very string heavy in the sample library world, with lots of releases coming out. So I needed to cover these beforehand. What does CTO stand for? Thanks for the question. It's Composing Tutorials Online. and you can check the website as well. It's composingtutorials.online or composingtutorials.com. So feel free to have a look around there. Okay, let's try to write a little something here. What is that, 160? Okay, let's try that. Obviously, what I need to do is okay, let's keep it at that. That's eighth notes, hard quantize for the time being. Eighth notes is what I said. Thank you. And you can hear now, so the playback returned to the minus 250 milliseconds because this is written in the initial MIDI bit blob just in the beginning. So CC17 at 0. So I changed it before I recorded, and that way I had the immediate attack. But when I go back and play it again, it will align with a minus 250 and have a better sound. I wonder why it's so bad to... Is it a question of the color that I chose here? Why can I... Oh, that way I can see it better. So I should technically choose a different color for all these strings here because the one I had is hard to see the MIDI data in there. So we're gonna do this. It's easier to see the MIDI data that way. Let's go a little faster. 168 maybe. Okay, let's use the bass pizzicato. Not to D, let's go there. Was a little loud. Just establishing the root notes here. For whatever reason, I deleted this MIDI bit here, so we need that again. Let's put this one in here. Okay. Repeat. And maybe we'll put some violin 2 tremolos on top. That sounds nice. Kind of. Repeat that. Just want to make sure that the volume jump isn't too big here in the mod wheel. So I need to turn that down a little. Back to where we start again. Same with the expression. I recorded mod wheel and expression at the same time with these two faders here. So just want to make sure that there isn't too much of a jump. Sounds like this. So. Like this. No. That is kind of nice. It was not bad. So I need to move that in place. Nope, quarter notes. And due to the minus 250 milliseconds, it's perfectly in time when you align it to the grid. Well, that last note. Nearly there. Put that a little bit before, and there's too much mod wheel going on there already. Let's have that a little quieter. Hey, Tom! Let's change that. Okay, now we need to put that back. Let's re-trigger that here like a rebo. Okay. So for the solo flute, I'm doing the same thing here that I did showcase on the harp. I want to have that a little further back. It sounds too direct in your face. So what I'm doing is I keep the reverb, it's pretty intense at 6, -6, but I keep that, or put it pre-fader and move that down by, say, -4 or -3. And that way I move the flute sound a little further back into the room. So just playing around a little bit. Not liking the flute there, that it's better suited for a little solo spot. But what I want to do is I want to double the violins with the flute staccatos. So I'm gonna make it very simple and just copy that over to the flute staccatos here. And the only thing that I want to be careful about is the volume, because I want to have these very, very quiet. So piano. So I'm moving these all the way down. See what they sound like. I do like that, but we could try. There's also that octave patch in the pre-orchestrated sounds here. So let's see what it sounds like with 2 flutes and 2 clarinets if we put that onto this instrument. So move that down there. See what that sounds like. Then we can move that even further down. What does that sound like an octave lower? Oh, wow. See how that sounds together. I think we can turn down the violins a little as well. They're a little up front. So let's bring them down halfway. These just a tad more. I think we can turn the flutes a little up. How does it sound when we duplicate the cello line with the solo bassoon legato? Can't imagine that sounds rather lovely, but we'll find out. I love that. That's pretty cool. Same thing, putting the reverb pre-fader and moving that just a tad down to move the bassoons a little further back into the room. Feel we could put in a little, do we use oboes for that? Let's see. Just a little thingy there. Same here, putting that pre-fader and turning it a little down. So it sounds a little further back. Just the full tone trill there from E to F sharp. Again, I did the mod wheel and CC11 to have even more volume control. So that controls the dynamic and the expression. So this is CC1, this is CC11. If CC11 is all the way up, CC1 gives you this range, but with CC11 combined, you just expand the range a little bit there. Would you consider releasing a template combining Nucleus and Jaeger? I already bought your Jaeger template. Thanks so much for that. Technically, there is a chance to do that. It's just adding these two libraries. If you want to run that full throttle with everything activated, you need like 128 gigs of RAM to run that properly. So it's a very limited audience that could run that without any hassle, you know. So, but there is the same with this template. I mean, you don't necessarily need to load all the patches to write with it and work with it. Possibly, I wanted to do a V Pro version anyway of some of that stuff. So that is happening in 2022. Okay, and since we have the harp, let's add a little bit. Let's see how that sounds. No, too much. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's do this. Nah, I just want to like partly quantize. Not fully. Not doing full machine quantize here. Let's add a little bit of glockenspiel. Okay, let's try that. Just a little bit of slight movement there in the back. A little magic. What? Oh, I need to go there. All together. That sounds rather lovely. Okay, we need some very soft French horns. Okay, let's try that. I have an idea how to combine that with the trombones. So open chords here. Cool. And again, same thing, because the MIDI bit in the beginning resets the sample start to -250, and the track is set to -250. It immediately sounds in time when putting that on the one. That's rather neat. Let's put some trombones below that. I don't know how soft these go. Let's see. Okay, let's try that. Not full chords here, gotta adjust a little. Closer voicing there. Okay. Pretty cool. Let's put the bass below that. Using the performance patch here to get a little more bite. I think the sustain is better suited for that. Okay, let's try that. put the wrong note down. That should have been an A. Okay. Quickly want to listen to just the brass and the strings. I like that. Sounds pretty cool. I want to put a little more emphasis on that B here. And we octave that. Let's add a timpani. Don't like the reverb here. Yeah, that makes no sense. Yeah, a little more oomph there in the high end. And let's get rid of a little bit of the nastiness here. Should be around here. Okay, let's take that. Just want to emphasize these last two. Okay, once more. And one other new instrument in 1.2 in the update are the cymbals. We have some scratches, some cymbal rises, very cool stuff. You see the list here. What I do here is get rid of a little bit of low end. I don't need that. No, 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 no. Come on, you come here. Pretty extensively. When you listen without it, Smart Tune, you should have gotten an email. The upgrade is free. So yeah, getting rid of the low end there because we don't need that. And we can autosave, of course. Just turning it down a little. Yep, like this. obviously in the wrong spot, so let's move that. Should be pretty much 1 bar. No, that is wrong. That is so wrong. Okay, kind of halfway. Could also use the 2-second version. Maybe that sounds better. Yeah, that is better. All right, full track so far. I feel like I kind of want to do like a little flute run. Just not sure if I'm gonna do that with the flute staccatos or with a solo flute legato. I don't know if the legato can handle that fast of a legato transition. When we do it like this, okay, let's record it. I missed a beat there, a bar, full bar. I missed a full bar. But yeah, you get the idea. So that is, should be a 7 tuplet. No, it's not a 7 tuplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could it be? Not really. It sounds nice. Need a little bit of modulation. Let's record that on top. Hey Zahari, good to see you. What's new? Well, quick roundup, changed all the contact instances to monotimbral instead of multitimbral, so every instrument is now its own contact instance. Just makes more sense in terms of mixing and everything. Added the new instruments, fine-tuned the mix for the demo track a little bit, included versions that use Slate VMR for mixing instead of the Cubase stock plugins. I prefer the way of working. Added a sketching template, so everything is disabled when you start, and then just a sketching template to kind of sketch down ideas quickly. Which is just a 3 major sections performance patch, so you can play shorts and longs. Kind of. Pretty cool for sketching purposes. Added the new instruments that are included in the new update, and Most importantly, I had to do this update because the 1.2 version is not compatible with the 1.1, so there was no way around it anyway. Tom, come over to the bright side. Leave the dark side. Why was the flute run not audible? Still sounds a little wobbly. I think I need to put down some expression data as well. And we need that no longer. All right. I like that. Let's put that as an ending there. Okay, that goes here. I want to have that as a triplet. Diddly-dee. Wait. Why does that sound off? To re-trigger. Yeah, like this. Put the trumpets really soft on top. Nope. No trumpets. Still one of the friggin' best horn sounds out there. And by the way, since you asked, I also added all these performance patches that Audio Imperia introduced with 1.1. Oh, there's no. That's pretty badass. There's a volume imbalance on this one, I feel. Oh, I also have OTT on top. A little much depth there. Very, very cool home patch. That works great. Not really sure where we're going with this. Let's add, after that flute run, let's put a little trill. We have that again in the oboes here, but should be fine. Quickly listen to the woodwinds alone. I want to add the bassoon sustains here. Playing fifth. Okay, let's try that. Kind of. Should we double the bassoon with a clarinet solo there? Let's try that. Same range. But let's turn the modulation a little down. That a bit quieter. Let's do a harmony here. Come on. Autosave. Let's see, these two together, what does that sound like? Kind of nice. Let's see how it sounds in context. Also, just because I think of that right now, we could also do very soft Grancasa on the beginning there. Let's put that down. No, not like this. A little more. Last but not least, here we can do a little roll. Nearly perfect, just a bar too early. So let's see, does this work? Put that on click. Okay, go here. A little earlier. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, we have the Grancasa in there. Make sure that this doesn't poke out too much. Little 3-to-1 ratio. Medium attack, fast release, a little makeup gain. So this should be fine. Not doing much there. I feel like we could add the trumpets in here on the last part. Maybe the doubling that I just did in the clarinet, maybe we can do that in the trumpet as well. Yeah, let's try that. Just gotta be very quiet there. So rather... Oh. Once more. That sounds pretty cool. And I need to bring in the original melody here as well. So putting the horns. Okay, matey, let's see. You have quite a bunch of libraries. Spitfire Chamber Strings Editions 899 and Cinematic Studio Series offered a student discount and a steer of 60%. I would be grateful if you could tell me which library to get with £1,000 budget. That's a tough one, especially given the tools that you have already. You're pretty covered. But out of all these, since I have that same thing, I do have the chamber strings and rarely use them, to be honest. Don't know why. It's just I rarely use them. And well, the Cinematic Studio Series, you just can't go wrong with that. If you have 1K to spend, the Cinematic Strings, Brass, and Woodwinds are top notch. So I guess these will be cool additions to what you have. That's a good thing, Bastanian. Ask yourself if you really need more. But we always need more. Next library will make us sound better. Let's see. Okay. I just want to put that there. I mean, this is really just a short snippet working with the template. There's so much more that you can do by shaping the sounds. And obviously, one thing that I'm interested in, would you guys be interested in expanded nucleus content or expanded nucleus template utilizing some of the free libraries that are out there, like Ferrum, the free edition, or Devastator, the free edition, maybe a free piano somewhere, because piano is missing in the template. Although I don't really know many Contact Player piano libraries that are free. Audio Ollie has just released a great one, but that requires the full version of Contact, and I want to make that as accessible to as many people as possible, of course. So if you just have the player version of Contact, you are limited to Contact libraries for sure. So, but yeah, I'm thinking of expanding that template a little more in regards to adding other instruments that are not necessarily nucleus, but also don't mean any more investments on the client side, so like free libraries. So let me know in the comments below if that's something that will be interesting for you. Then I will look into that. For now, that shall conclude a little overview of the Nucleus 1.2 update for Cubase. Studio One is coming soon, and after that there will be the Logic version. If my Mac can handle that, I will see. And yeah, love the sound, love the library, great update, great new content. Thanks for quickly checking that out with me, and I see you in 2 days to a very secret stream that I can't really talk about yet. We're missing a choir there in the end, but I'm I mean, you get the idea. Just a quick little snippet there of what you can do with the template. So that's from me for now, and thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And if you want to check it out, it's store.composingtutorials.com, or check out the website with all the links, composingtutorials.online. My production music course is still on sale till the end of the year for 30% off, so check that out, courses.composingtutorials.com. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and you all have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.